Also für die, die es nicht wissen, Hidun oder Hidan, ich weiß jetzt nicht, wie man den Namen ausspricht, der hat damals, als ich auch mit BDO angefangen habe zu streamen, auch immer gestreamt. Den gibt es seitdem ich an BDO denken kann. Ich habe 2018 angefangen, war Main BDO-Streamer und hat dann vor, ich glaube, 1 oder 2 Jahren schon aufgehört zu streamen und hat dann für Lazy Peon angefangen, Videos zu schneiden, natürlich mit Bezahlung und so. Und das hatte mir mal ein alter BDO-Spieler mir vorgeschlagen, darauf zu reagieren. Er sagt hier, thank you and goodbye. Also er hat schon vor langer Zeit gequittet, sag ich mal, den Beruf als Streamer oder als auch BDO-Spieler. Mal gucken, was er zu sagen hat.
Hey everyone, it's been about 2 years since I last uploaded a video and a few months since I streamed. I kind of disappeared from the internet and I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but I kept putting it off. Honestly, I'm not even sure why. Initially, I wanted to talk about quitting Black Desert, but so much has happened since then that the scope of this video grew a lot. This video is about my journey as a content creator, my experiences in life, and what's next for me. My video journey started back in 2013. I was hopping between MMOs, trying to find the one, and stumbled on an article about Black Desert. From the first moment, I felt an instant connection to the game. I just knew that it was the one I was looking for. Fast forward to 2016, I'm a 22-year-old NEET and I have no idea what to do with my life. I was working with the biggest esport org in Italy at the time, and the rapid growth of the scene created some really hostile environments, which caused me to burn out and abandon it completely. I don't think at the time I realized it, but I definitely used video as an escape from the world. I think that for the
Er war einer der krassesten Sorg-Spieler, die es gab. Und er hat, glaube ich, auch immer Awakening Sorg gespielt, was eine sehr, sehr handlastige Klasse ist. Und er war wirklich so Meister in dieser Klasse. Wieso geht das die ganze Zeit immer runter von der Qualität auf YouTube? Aber so habe ich ihn in Erinnerung behalten.
The first year of the game, I played for about 12 hours a day, maybe even more. My daily routine was wake up, make coffee, get on video, eat, sleep, repeat. Looking back, there's definitely some aspects of this that I regret, and it certainly wasn't a glamorous lifestyle, but in the game I've met some of the most amazing people on this planet, and this video is about those memories. I've always thought that the best aspect of Black Desert back then was that it forced interaction between players. I started the game with Wizard, but then I switched to Sorc soon after,
Die einzig wahre Klasse.
as I was looking for a more dynamic and fast-paced gameplay. For some reason, I remember this like it was yesterday, even though it's been almost 9 years. During the first month, I kept seeing this Sorc in RBS and open world that was just on another level, and I thought to myself, if I want to become better, I need to join his guild. That player was Scarflare, and that is how I joined Old School. Old School was initially a small-scale guild in Alustin, one of the 3 European servers.
Ich finde es cool, dass er uns so mitnimmt und immer wieder eine neue Kulisse im Hintergrund entsteht.
Led by Ox and Scarf.
Also überlegt mal, guckt euch mal einfach mal an.
Old School was initially a small-scale guild in Alustin, one of the 3 European
Guckt euch mal einfach mal an, die alte UI vom Black Desert, Bro. Aus der Zeit komme ich auch.
servers, led by Ox and Scarflare. The first year in Old School was amazing. The game in general was incredibly addicting back then. UVGs popping up left and right, Node Wars and Sieges also felt so meaningful. We were pretty good and quickly grew in size, going from a somewhat average guild to one of the strongest in the server. I have so many good memories of the Alustin days, and I wanna shout out whoever was there to enjoy those magical times where the game was brand new and full of mysteries. I think my best memory from Old School has to be the last ever Siege of Alustin, before they merged the servers. At the time, the server was divided between a few major alliances, but the strongest and most fearsome one was the Sovereign one. Sovereign was filled with strong and gear players, and they were the big bad enemy of Alustin. So to hold back all the guilds going at them, they allied with the Revolt German alliance, which for whatever reason we didn't really like. Anyways, Pearl Abyss announced that whoever was sitting on the castle for the last siege would obtain a unique title. At the time, Revolt was sitting on Kalfen uncontested for weeks, and we knew we couldn't let them get away with it. So we gathered up 11 other guilds without letting any of these guilds know that we were the masterminds behind this massive coup. The result? Well, around this time I also realized that I was playing the game too much, so I either had to quit and get a life or start a YouTube/Twitch channel and try to make some money out of my degeneracy. You obviously know which path I took. Since I was playing all day, every day, it didn't take long before I rose in the ranks of Old School, and by the time the server mage came through, I found myself co-leading the guild together with Scar, Ox and Quetzi. With the guild growing in numbers, so were the problems, and stress caused by organizing and sometimes even babysitting such a large number of people. So after
Ich muss sagen, dadurch, dass ich jetzt in Throne Liberty auch eine PvP-orientierte Gilde leite und auch das erste Mal wirklich in PvP in MMOs reingegangen bin mit Throne Liberty, kann ich ihm da absolut nur zustimmen. Es ist wirklich ein sehr harter Job als Gildenleiter von 70 Leuten, denen die Hand zu halten, wenn sie ein Wehwehchen haben und mit so vielen verschiedenen Meinungen klarzukommen. Das ist halt echt eine Herausforderung. Also da kann ich ihm absolut nur zustimmen, dass das ein sehr, sehr stressiger Job war.
For a while, all of us from the leadership burned out and we decided to essentially downscale the guild, going from one of the top siege guilds at the time to a small-scale, hardcore one. Believe it or not, this puzzled quite a lot of people. It's not like the guild was doing poorly. We often held castles and were fairly respected, so many people didn't understand our decision. At the time, we were one of the first big guilds, if not the very first, to willingly go from large scale to small scale. Probably because there was a stigma towards smaller guilds, but we knew that that's where we truly could find our way and have fun in the game. We told our members that whoever wanted to try the new project would need to trial out for it, and everyone else who was not interested was free to go. So our small-scale adventure began. Soon after, one of the most legendary players of EU joined the project, initially as a cannoneer, then as a shotcaller. I am talking about Pessel, one of the most enigmatic and, in my opinion, influential players in the game.
Guckt euch mal das Gear an von damals, Leute, Digga. Guckt euch mal das an, Digga. Bro, what the fuck? Er hat einfach Katri-Ringe an und das sind Manos-Ohrringe und ein Cecile Necklace, Centauren-Belt. Okay, also, der Geist ist krank, Bro. Bro, der Hebehelm. Der damalige Hebehelm, Bro. Guckt euch mal diese AP und DP an von damals.
I am talking about Pessel, one of the most enigmatic and, in my opinion, influential players in the game. Before moving on, I want to truly thank all the people that shared time with me in old school. I've met so many amazing souls and found lifelong friends in it. Obviously, I spent most of my time with the guys in the leadership, and if you're watching this video, thank you so much for being there. Scar, Quietzy, and Ox. I can't stress enough how important human connection in these types of game is. It truly is the best thing, and probably the only thing that will stay with you. In 2019, I was at my lowest. I won't go into detail on what happened specifically, but I just had a bad breakup and my grandma died around the same time. When I was in my darkest place, Ox told me to come to his house in the Netherlands and spend some time with him. Around the same time, I was also contacted by Pion to become his editor, so I moved to the Netherlands and spent 2 weeks with Ox. He welcomed me in his house and helped me process what I was going through. I truly owe him my life, and this would have never happened if back in 2016 I didn't see that Sork in the game and decided to join his guild. What I'm saying is that the smallest decision you can make can really change your life. You might just not know when they happen. After some time, Ox and Scar decided to quit the game, so we closed the old school chapter and started a new with War, this time led by Pessel. This is probably my favorite time in BDO's history. We did so many cool things with War. We were likely the first proper mercenary guild in the game. We would just join other guilds just to cannon for them and use unique and crazy strategies concocted by Pessel's twisted mind. And not to toot our own horn too much, but I do think that War was the most unique and innovative guild in the game, especially at the time. I think Pessel single-handed had PA change multiple game mechanics, as he would constantly try to find ways to push the limits of the game and exploit every little thing. I won't go too long over the war times, as it is the most documented on my channel. I'm actually very proud of this video here, so maybe check it out if you want to see some war shenanigans. Pessel was a rather reserved and antisocial person, which aren't exactly the most prominent aspects of a guild leader, and I think that caused him to burn out from the game, coupled with the terrible management from Pearl Abyss when it came to everything PvP related. One day, he just kind of disappeared, which is a funny story, as it
Ja, das mit dem PvP und Pearl Abyss ist halt immer noch auf dem aktuellen Stand. Das ist immer noch gleich schlecht gemanagt.
caused a massive panic attack in the guild, which led us to doxing him to figure out if he was okay. Anyways, he eventually came back after a week, telling us that he was done with the game, and that was the end of War. As I said, this was the most fun I've ever had in the game, and I want to thank Pessel for making it happen. I do want to specifically mention Wenjob, which made my time in the game so much better, and to the Guild Devour for giving us a great rivalry. After War disbanded, I was kind of lost. My interest in the game was waning, but I still had a group of friends from War, which I loved playing with. Plus, I still felt like I had something left to give to the game. I've had experience running a guild before, but for many years at that point I was mainly focusing on my career as a content creator.
Also da ist auch links auf seiner Seite Jules. Jules hat auch letztens ein Video gemacht, dass er ist irgendwie aus dem GA-Partnerprogramm ausgetreten und ich glaube, es war sein eigener Wunsch. Dazu könnten wir uns eigentlich auch mal ein Video angucken. Er hat auch ein Video gemacht, Jules selber. Er ist auch ein Deutscher, der aber Fulltime Englisch gestreamt hat.
Which definitely affected the way people saw me, both as a person and as a player. I wanted to create a project that was tailored exactly around my needs. A self-sufficient guild where every player could count on each other, with no drama and the strings attached. I've asked a few people if they thought that it was a good idea, and pretty much everyone told me no, and that I wasn't fit anymore to lead a guild. That's how I created Villain. The idea of the guild was to create a project where numbers didn't matter. I only wanted the best players on the server, so that no matter the situation, you'd always be proud to be next to your guildmate, regardless of how bad the odds were against you. Initially, it was just me, this guy, and Pruim, and slowly we recruited more and more people. I think the biggest we've ever been was around 20 or so.
Pruim ist auch ein geisteskranker PvP-Spieler. Den Namen der ist mir sogar in Erinnerung geblieben.
And I can comfortably say that
Wenn die Leute über Pruim reden, dann reden sie so, als wäre er kein Mensch, Digga. Die sagen einfach, der spielt mit 4 Händen.
Succeeded in my last video project. Villain was amazing. Some of the best players to ever touch the game were part of the family. And that is what it was, a small family made of dedicated and passionate players, and I am so happy that it was my last home in video. I've actually met quite a few of my fellow villains and even traveled to Japan with Wiki.
Bro, der sah einfach aus wie der Bruder von
In video.
Hido.
I've actually met
Nicht
quite
der?
a few of my fellow villains.
Hier, der da im Hintergrund und rechts. Ist das sein Bruder? Der sieht aus 1:1 wie er, Digga. What the fuck?
And even traveled to Japan with Wikia, which is one of the most amazing friends that I could find. And all that thanks to Video. We were actually very close, so I won't have to thank you much here, as you know how much I love you. I will shout out Tim because he is a little bitch, and I'm sure he will get offended if I don't mention it specifically. Villain was my last attempt at trying to enjoy Black Desert, but the constant updates to the game, which killed PvP more and more, made me hate my time in the game, and eventually I just couldn't do it anymore, so without much of a fuss, I silently quit. One of the reasons I kept playing the game for so long was thanks to
Katzi!
you, the person watching this video. As corny as it may sound, I loved booting up the stream and talking to you guys every day. For a long time, it was my only form of social interaction, and I hope that I kept you company the same way you did with me during those years. I want to apologize for disappearing without notice, but do know that I miss you all a lot, and I am very grateful to all the people that supported me throughout the years. Thank you. My last shout out is to Pearl Abyss. As much as I feel like I kinda became the black sheep to PA, I still am eternally grateful to them. Not only did they create a game where I found some of my best friends, but they also gave me many opportunities. I was one of the very first streamers in their partner program. I'm pretty sure I was the first non-employee to visit their European office.
Hey, GM Luffy auf der linken Seite da.
And I got to talk with their CEO at the time. They invited me to the Voice of Adventure event, a fully paid trip to a castle in the Netherlands.
Ja, da wurde ich auch eingeladen, aber ich habe dankend abgelehnt. Das war 2022. Ich kann mich noch genau erinnern, da hat GM Luffy sogar noch einen Spruch vom Stapel gelassen, als ich ihn das erste Mal auf der Gamescom 2024 gesehen habe. Da haben die GMs unter sich für einen Begriff für mich gefunden. Irgendwie IRL Event Dodger oder sowas haben die mich genannt, weil ich halt immer diese IRL Events gedodged habe.
And in general, PA is full of amazing people. A big shout out to Laffy and especially Endlave, one of the most talented and amazing people I've ever met. Endlave, my bro, I wish you the best and I love you. I can't possibly thank everyone who's had an impact in my life throughout these years, thanks to Video, which is kind of amazing.
Also, wo war wirklich besonders? Ey, GM Gas, was geht? Moin. Ja, Voice of Actors. Ich sag ehrlich, ne, heute sehe ich das Ganze ein bisschen anders. Damals war ich halt nebenberuflich Streamer, ne? Und deswegen war das für mich ein anderer Schnack. So nebenberuflich, ich hatte halt wenig Zeit. Ich habe einen Vollzeitjob gehabt, habe nebenberuflich gestreamt. Deswegen war das für mich meistens gar nicht so richtig möglich und einfach ein paar Tage mehr freizunehmen.
If you think about it. But I apologize if someone is feeling left out. But yeah, that's pretty much a brief summary of what is left in my mind after 8 years of playing Black Desert, which is mostly the people I met and the time I spent with them. There are of course a couple of game-related memories that I still hold dear, but that's not really the point of this video and I don't want to drag things longer than necessary. I'll go straight to the point. I'm moving to Japan in April. I've always been very driven by my passions, and lately I felt like the flame that was burning within me was fading away. I won't go too much into details, but a few things aligned and I made a decision to get a student visa and move there. I have no idea what the future of the channel will be, mostly because I have no idea what my future is looking like. I might start posting some Japan-related videos, but I'm not sure, no promises. Besides that, I've got quite a few things going on in my life. My band is about to release our second album and I've qualified for 2 European Magic tournaments. If anyone would like to still keep in touch and follow my journey, I've been mostly using Instagram lately, and I'll likely upload most of my Japan stuff there. I'll do one last stream in this date, and
19.01. Das ist jetzt schon in der Vergangenheit. Das ist ein Monat
hopefully
her.
I'll get to thank most of the old familiar faces that I got to spend so much time with during these past 8 years. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you again for all the memories, and I wish you the very best in life. Kisses. For some reason, I remember this like
Geil. Ja, der erste Content Creator, der aufgehört hat, in BDO Content zu createn, ohne dass er die Firma gegen die Wand gefahren hat. Der erste BDO Content Creator, der BDO gequittet hat, ohne dass er BDO oder Pearl Abyss beleidigt hat. Ich wünsche ihm alles Gute auf seiner Reise. Danke für die gemeinsame Zeit auch von mir. Ich habe ihn auch ein paar Mal getroffen, also im Spiel, aber es gab kaum Interaktionspunkte. Aber trotzdem, ich hatte ihn auch sehr als korrekten Content Creator in Erinnerung.